Hey everybody, Laura Graves here. I've tried to start this video a few times. I've kind of had to fight with my cameras. So I'm gonna have to do a timed video. So this is gonna be a multiple series, right? So I want to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and I need to watch my time because I will go over and then I'll lose space and then I'll lose the entire film. And so most of you who know me in person, you know I like horror. I like this is one of my favorite hologram things here because you can actually see the cabin and then you can see the monsters there. And that I have this Scream parody stream. Somebody did a extremely clever artwork on that, so that's one of my favorites there. This series is going to talk about different parts of the horror genre in the film industry, and not just in America, but in all over the world. All right. So there's so much on this that I can touch on, that I'm going to touch on, that I want you guys' opinions and comments on some of the stuff that you think I need to touch on. But this is going to be something that I'm going to put towards a future degree on art and history and horror and genre and things like that in general, because one of these days you might be hearing my name behind a really cool horror film. You never know, right? I'm also going to be trying to do a semi-short series of some classic versions of modern horror. I kind of have this Alfred Hitchcock meets Edgar Allan Poe meets modern day kind of stuff, and snippets, because sometimes seeing the horror image itself and not having a backstory behind it, or having just a little bit of a story, is scary enough. I kind of want to take that back to the last video about me walking home with the dog from the dog park, and it sounded like I just said pork instead of park. Dog park. And that girl was screaming at the top of her lungs behind me. Or me walking home from the store and that creepy, unmarked, fully dark-ass tinted windows following me home. Or seeing, the zombie dude tweaking out in the middle of the road. You don't know the full story, right? Maybe that van really was lost. Maybe they're out looking at Christmas lights. It is that time of year. I don't know. Maybe the girl that was walking behind me that was screaming just got robbed and she lost her phone. So she's screaming at the top of her lungs. You don't know what these stories are, right? That's kind of my point. So maybe one of these days I'll read some of my story ideas that are kind of like outlines or throwaway ideas or whatever. I might actually have a special guest when I discuss something like that. So where to start? There's decades and centuries of this stuff. I mean, you can go back to German Impressionism, something to start with. Those of you who are into vampire genre in general, with Nosferatu, or Dracula, or Salem's Lot, which is actually a nod to Nosferatu. Stephen King, you're kinda, man, I want to get inside your brain. Man. American horror in general That is the person you want to talk to. Stephen King. He takes subjects like a young girl in high school who mother is physically and verbally abusive, is a religious freak, and uneducated, and she gets tortured, bullied, and all this stuff at the same time. Take that into consideration. This girl is being alienated during one of the most structural, socially, that's the word I was looking for. Socially, structural, I still can't talk. It's a character builder time of your life. High school is the time that you're making friends and you're learning more about your body, so on and so forth. She's alienated. She's alienated at home, at school, and on top of this, she has a psychic ability. And these people took their bullying too far, and she loses it, right? That's scary, you know. And that's just one of the examples of a Stephen King. If you guys know, by the way, I read the book Carrie within 2 weeks of doing jury duty on top of it, and the remake of the original film of Stephen King's Carrie was very more, it was closer to the original storyline from the book. All right, the original film was not as visually exploratory. That's not the correct word either. I'm trying to find the right word. And no, I'm not trying to sound educated or anything like that. Sometimes my words just don't, pop out correctly. Anyways, so basically the book and the remake of the film itself go hand to hand versus the original film. It's scary. It focuses more on how the mom is more of a religious freak and she herself was uneducated and scared, and how she actually thought that she had a demon while she was pregnant with Carrie White. Fun fact, I had a vehicle that I worked with that I named Carrie White because somebody tried to break into it and they messed up the horn sensor. Every time I would turn the steering wheel or close the door and walk away, the horn would go off. So I named the truck Carrie White. I'm actually running out of time, so I will do another video soon, and we will discuss more of this. So leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe, you guys. Seriously, this is very cathartic for me in general. So hit that like button, y'all. All right. Peace, my little grave diggers.